So Bradford City have completed their 12th signing of the 2024-25, no longer summer transfer window, just season in general, as midfielder Corry Evans has signed on a short-term deal until January. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, and get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Now, it's been a little while since we've sat down and spoke about football on this channel. If you want to know why, go over to my second channel, More SHD, to check out the recent video there, and it's obviously my match preview for tomorrow's match against Newport, and then you can find out there. Obviously, we had the Paul Huntington news coming out on Tuesday just before the Morecambe match. Logistics kind of meant I had to put that video out exclusively to tier 3 channel members, but my brief thoughts on that: I think it's a good signing, provides experience and cover in a position that we needed, and I think overall he is actually a pretty solid player for the level. Corry Evans is a player who is going to come in and probably compete with Richie Smallwood. We knew in the summer we weren't looking for any competition for Richie Smallwood because we had cover, i.e. Alex Patterson, Joe Adams, Clark Adore. That has obviously clearly proven to be a poor decision from the football club, and now we've brought Corry Evans in, who, to be fair, didn't play much football last season. Only 3 league matches, no starts, only 66 minutes of league football for Corry Evans last season, which is a little bit of a concern. But let's get in and see what Bradford City had to say about this signing. Now, as we know, Corry Evans had been training with the football club throughout this week, and Alexander kind of slipped up a little bit in his pre-match interview, saying that when we offer something, it'll be only until January, similar sort of deal to Paul Huntington, and then said, well, if we do actually offer anything. So we kind of all knew it was going to happen. I even mentioned it in my match preview, and that obviously came out before the official transfer news broke from Bradford City. But they tweeted at 7:45 PM tonight, very bizarre time to announce a signing, but they tweeted saying, "Welcome to Bradford City, Corry." I think it's Corry Evans. If I'm wrong and it's Corry, well, then up the Roy Cropper. The article does then read, Bradford City is delighted to announce the signing of Northern Ireland international Corry Evans, joining the Bantams on a short-term deal until January 2025. Born in Belfast, the midfielder spent 4 years in Manchester United's academy before being promoted to their first team in 2009. He had loan spells at Carlisle United and Hull City while travelling with the Old Trafford outfit, signing for the latter upon leaving the Red Devils. A 2-year spell in Yorkshire saw 74 appearances for the Tigers, which ended as he opted for a switch over the Pennines to Red Rose Club at Blackburn Rovers. Evans stayed at Ewood Park for the best part of a decade, turning out over 200 times for the blue and white outfit, where he partnered current City captain Richie Smallwood before moving to Sunderland. A combative midfielder, Evans captained the Black Cats back to the Championship in the 2021-22 season before back-to-back seasons in the second tier of English football, leaving them at the end of last season. He has 72 caps for Northern Ireland, with his most recent cap coming in a 2-0 friendly win over Andorra in June of this year. Now, his CV obviously looks absolutely incredible, but there's no mention here that he only played the 3 matches last season and didn't start a league match for Sunderland at last campaign. And we have some quotes from both Evans and Graham Alexander, but I would take both of these with a massive pinch of salt, because the kind of picture that they used to announce this signing, it's clearly obviously Photoshop. That's probably Corry Evans on Brad Halliday's face, for example, and there doesn't seem to be any type of interview, so I don't know if the media team have actually had an opportunity to meet Corry Evans as of right now, and they might have just gone, this is what we're going to put in the article, are you okay with us doing that? And then Evans and Alexander probably will both sign that off, because what Corry Evans has to say, he ticks every single box you would expect a player to come in and say, and I don't see Corry Evans as that type of player. I could be wrong, but from the outside looking in, it looks like the new media manager's gone, yeah, what you're going to say this, are you happy for that? They've gone, yeah, and it's been published in the article. So, after signing for the Bantams, Evans said, "I'm absolutely thrilled to join Bradford City. It's a massive club with a passionate fan base, and I can't wait to get started." And that's it. That's all I had to say. City manager Graham Alexander added, "We're bringing Corry in on a short-term deal to help us with his experience and quality. He's another option in the midfield that can complement the personnel we already have in there." So they've both kind of said a whole lot of nothing. So like I say, I think it's... Then these are not real quotes. These are just, yep, I'm happy for them to be approved and all that sort of stuff. Corry Evans will be sponsored by Metal Tech during his BD8 stay and will wear the number 30 shirt. His move is subject to the relevant EFL and FA clearances. Now, there is no mention in the article whether he's available to play in the match tomorrow against Newport. I think he would have had to be registered by 12 o'clock today, but with the way I think the Paul Huntington news kind of came about. Obviously, that was all the media sort of stuff was done the day before and probably should have been announced on the Monday and didn't end up announcing it until the Tuesday. But obviously, then Huntington could play. So it's not about when it's announced. It's about if Bradford City manage to take the registration, because we could do with the midfielder, as we are really lacking in that position at this moment in time. And we'll come on to that later on in today's video. But like I mentioned, Corry Evans last season in the Championship, just 3 appearances, 0 starts and 22 minutes played per game. But in the 2022-23 season in the Championship for Sunderland, obviously the season we got to the League 2 playoff semi-final. He played on 24 occasions in the league for the Black Cats, starting 22 of their matches and averaged 76 minutes per game. No real offensive highlights to talk about, to be honest, so no goals and also no assists. He averaged 44.6 touches per 90. He averaged 0.1 key passes per game with an 81% passing accuracy, 87% in his own half and 74% in the opposition half, and 54% of his long balls were accurate and 46% of his chip passes were accurate as well. His defensive stats though are quite impressive in the Championship in this season. He averaged 1.3 interceptions per game, 2 tackles per game, 1 clearance per game as well. And in terms of some of these other statistics, he had a 71% successful dribble rate, winning 56% of his ground duels and 47% of his aerial duels, and he also picked up 7 yellow cards, so around a yellow card in every 3 starts for him, which if he's playing between now and January, he's probably going to get to that 5 yellow card mark and he's probably going to get a ban. But in terms of how Bradford City's squad is now lining up for the 2024-25 campaign, you would expect there's no more business to be done. Obviously, Paul Huntington and Corry Evans wouldn't have been in the budget, but when we look back to our budget in the summer, there was clearly no major investment from Stefan Rupp like what was promised, and everything's kind of gone quiet on Stefan Rupp front. You know, loads of promises in that open letter, and now we look back, if we'd have signed Corry Evans in the summer, that'd have been a really good sign, and it's a position that we needed to get another body in, and he comes in with brilliant pedigree. Yes, very injury prone and didn't play anywhere near enough football last season, which is a massive concern for me, but who knows, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it goes on between now and January. In terms of the squad as a whole then, a lot of depth in a lot of positions. Obviously you can kind of take Joe Adams out of this squad now, as he's going to miss the remainder of this season with that ACL injury. But we do now have 7 senior centre-backs at the football club, which is a little bit of a concern for me, but I guess it's only technically 6, because are we ever actually going to see Callum Johnson play? We know Kieran Kelly is out until January, but with Neil Burton being back for tomorrow's game, Aidan Baldwin being back for Saturday, we're clearly in a very comfortable position. We will have 5 centre-halves available by the time Saturday does come around, and then we are looking a little bit more comfortable again in the midfield with Sarcevic and Patterson out injured at the moment, seemingly for at least a month. Joe Adams with that ACL. I certainly do think we needed another midfielder to come in there. Will we stick with the 4-4-2 and have Evans and Smallwood in there, or will we go back to the 3-5-2 and maybe push Smallwood into their number 8 positions? I'm not so sure. Can Corry Evans play in that role? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, certainly an interesting one, and I think when you look at Smallwood's performances over the last 5 to 8 matches, he's not been amazing in a lot of them games, so maybe even comes in to displace Smallwood, which I think would be unlikely given how much Graham Alexander does like Richie Smallwood, but I wouldn't be too surprised if that was to happen. My overall thoughts then on this signing, I think he's going to come in and provide some brilliant competition for Richie Smallwood. If he can stay fit, on paper it looks like an exceptional signing, very similar though to Paul Huntington. The fact they're only both here until January, it gives them that opportunity to prove to themselves and to Graham Alexander they've still got a bit, and I feel like if they are to get longer term contracts, then it still should only be season by season. So if they do well up until January, give them it until the end of this season, and then you review in the summer. And I think with David Sharp at the helm, I'm certainly feeling a little bit more confident about that. But let's stick with Graham Alexander. Let's get behind the team on Monday. You know, it's not been easy in the last couple of matches with obviously the amount of injuries we've got, the fact we've had to change formation as well, come away from a formation we've been playing for nearly a year. This isn't easy to do, and we can't just expect things to click overnight when you've got so many of your main players injured. We lost our opening day back 3 within the first month of the season. But thank you all so much for watching today's video. Make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 100 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated, and don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Bradford City signing midfielder Corry Evans on a short-term deal until January 2025?